Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. Well, it finally happened. Something that many people were predicting, and that is the death of the head of the Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, who apparently was killed today in a plane crash in western Russia. And this is being reported by the Russian media, so it does seem to be confirmed. Now, the initial reports are saying that the plane was struck by a Russian anti-aircraft missile. And this would actually make a lot of sense, and here is why. Back in June, during the Wagner mutiny, when the Wagnerites were moving north on the highway toward Moscow, they, of course, were being surveilled by the Russian military. And the Wagner guys shot down a Russian military plane and killed 13 Russian airmen. So if Prigozhin's plane was indeed struck by an anti-aircraft missile, this would be a poetic way for Putin to take out Prigozhin and exact revenge. And yes, this was not an accident. This was very clearly done on purpose, and ultimately Putin would be behind this. Now, going back to the mutiny in June, people were speculating that perhaps Prigozhin and Putin were working together, that this was the mutiny was some sort of military intelligence operation to flush out traitors within Russia. And I never bought into that. I always thought this was the case of somebody in Prigozhin who was a little too big for his britches. He had some political power. He's kind of a loose cannon. He was disgruntled. He had this private military group at his hands, and he thought, man, maybe I'll go for it. Not to take Putin out. I don't think he ever intended to do that, but to just elevate his own star, so that maybe in the future he could be a bigger political player. And of course, that failed miserably, and now he is no longer with us. Another thing that was fueling the speculation that perhaps they were working together was the fact that after it happened, he was running around. He was in Belarus. He was back in Russia. Some reports had him in Africa. Some people were saying, is he working with Putin? Or is Putin weak? Why is this guy still running around free? Well, I've always said about Putin, he is not somebody who acts impulsively. He is not rash. He always very carefully thinks things out and plans things. And that is what he did here. First thing, he broke up Wagner. Some Wagner guys went to Belarus. Some guys went to Africa. Some guys went to regular military, and some guys were sent home. So he broke up Wagner, separated Prigozhin from his power, waited a couple months, and then took him out. And so what does this mean long term for Russia and for Putin? Well, like I said in my video back in June, sometimes we want to assign some sort of meaning to something, that it means this or that, or Putin's weak, or blah, blah, blah. Sometimes things are a wash. They're relatively inconsequential. And I think this will be the same thing with Prigozhin's death here. Yes, he had some political power. Yes, he had a small following, well, maybe a large following in Russia. And perhaps they're not going to be too happy with him being taken out. But ultimately, it will just smooth over and things will continue as normal. The war effort will continue as normal. And in a few months, this will all be an afterthought. Just another bump in the road for someone like Putin, who in his 23 years in power in Russia has had to deal with a lot of people like Prigozhin, these oligarch-type guys who are greedy, who want to share the power, and Putin has to take care of them. And if you're in power as long as Putin is, you're pretty good at it. being in Russia as a leader, it is cutthroat, and you have to be the smartest and most capable operator to stay in that position in Russia for as long as Putin has stayed in that position. And I think from here on out, things will go pretty smoothly for Putin. He made his point. If you take a shot at him, if you come at the throne, as they say, you better not miss, because if you do, it's going to be over for you at some point in the future. So rest in peace, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Well, that's it for now. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.